afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing great today and good. All right. So, questions here. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Mark, how is everything going? Can you explain to me why the world hides information from us about training our minds to be great, to be manifestors? Why is this stuff hidden from us, and why do we discover it so late? Well, okay, that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Don't stress. New doors are opening for you. So, okay, I'll start off by saying this. Look, there is a sophisticated disinformation campaign that has been going on for centuries, and right now it's at its apex with the age of television, tell lie to your vision, and internet. Internet means enter their truth, not your truth. Every word has meaning behind it. So with this disinformation campaign, what it's primarily doing is designed to make you less self-confident, take your self-esteem away, hide you from what you are. And what you are is what we call the gods. So if you go to the dictionary and you look up the definition of a god, because throughout history there are many gods, but if you look up the definition of a god, it says a god is basically with supernatural powers, have the ability to control nature, control human fortune, etc. Now, did you know that you are capable of doing all that? Yeah, you are just as capable of doing all that. And this is what they're hiding from you, because I can explain this to you and show you through the laws of quantum physics that you are all indeed what we call gods, experiencing forms of what we call a human existence. Now, the thing is this thing started with the education system, and is designed to dummy down your mind so that you will become more of a, what's the best word here? A participant than a doer. So you become a participator than an actual creator. The interesting thing about human body is this, that we're both wave and particle at the same time. Now, science has discovered that you are half light and half physical being. That's called what we call the what? The duality, right? What we call the wave, where you say a human being is both spiritual and physical at the same time. See how that works? Hey, greetings from Kenya. Everybody's here. We're all over the globe here today. Greetings from South Africa. Greetings from Germany. Good, 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 good. London's in the house. Grand Rising. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Yeah. So look, the big thing is this. Your mind is being controlled daily, and it's very subtle in all forms that they use, and you have to exercise and take your power back. You have to wake up and take your power back, because majority of people don't even recognize what's going on around them. You have to know what's going on around you. And this is why I'm here to like show you some light on this stuff so you can see for yourself. You know what I mean? Because if you don't take control of your own mind, someone else is going to run your mind. And when someone else runs your mind, they're going to run their own agenda. It's not going to be your agenda. And this is what's happening now. Your own mind is being ran. So what you have to learn to do, you have to learn to open up your confidence and take back your power. And it all begins by understanding like who you are and where you came from. So first of all, the person asked this question, so say, who are we and where do we come from? So I will answer that now. So who you are, it's not a who, it's more of a what you are. Who is a human term we invented to describe a person or a being. You're not a person or really a being. Uh, best way, I mean, this is so far out there that there isn't even language to describe this, because you can't describe something that is undescribable or something that's eternal. So we come up with the best possible answers, and the best possible answers I can give you is you're not a who, but a what, or you are nothing and everything at the same time. So you are, let's get down to the easy way that we can understand. Let's use physics. So you are what's called a field. This field is a field of energy, and the field of energy, it is constantly fluctuating and vibrating, and the field of energy is alive. When I mean alive, it is aware, it can change form, it can be transparent. But the thing about this field, you can't destroy this field. This field doesn't have a creator. It never created. It had never had a beginning or never had an end. That's the crazy thing about this, because we're so used to have creation, right? We see, we're born, we create stuff, but the universe doesn't work like that. If you go to any physicist right now or anyone in the field, and you can ask them right now, what created the universe? They can never give you an answer, no matter what. What created the multiverse? They can't give you an answer. If you go deeper, you say, all right, so we know the force of the electron, but what is the force that holds the electron together? Okay, what is the force that makes the electron spin? What is electromagnetic frequency? What power is electromagnetic frequency? No one can ever tell you that, because no one knows. It's just there. So you are just there as well. Someone says, I feel a big wind coming. Yep, big wind coming for you soon. So if you listen to this, this will free you to get into yourself. That's why when we stress about stuff, or when we focus on what we don't want, we are creating that same reality that we don't want to experience. So this is why I said, if one door closes, infinite amounts open up. So if you want to focus on your desires and self, first thing you have to do, people, is the number one thing, is plug out from television. Tell lie to your vision. You gotta plug that out. Do not plug into that stuff, man. That stuff is designed to program you, people. Number two, you have to start creating your own world. You literally create your world. Now let me go back to the God statement. Someone says, well, how can I be a God, man? Okay, number one, you are indeed supernatural, because number one, you're both matter and what we call antimatter, or no matter, at the same time. You're about 60% light. The other part of you, what you call constructive, or what we call abstract reality. So you're both physical and mental. See that? So you can transfer different things. What else? You can control your world. As far as you didn't know that before, right? You can control your world, because your world is controlled by you internally. You generate what happens is, whenever you imagine something, it's coming from that field. That field triggers that electromagnetic force to your brain. Then your brain creates the image, and that image transforms into physical reality. Everything comes from that field. See how that works? So that's the next thing, the God senses. You can control your own fortune. Of course you can control your own fortune. Fortune is made up. You can go create anything you want, but you have to know the basic laws. It's just like just like a car. The car is there, it's ready to be driven, but if no one taught you how to drive a car, you're just gonna sit there and look pretty. The car is just gonna look nice and cool. Got the steering wheel, everything has a design and a way to work. How do you not stress when crisis, illness, or needing money quickly for emergency? Well, yeah, this is the thing you have to learn. See, when you stress, it makes it worse. So you have to look at yourself. What do I have? Let me just stop stressing. so that I can what? Create this, and it comes in. Anytime you give up the stress or the worry, an answer usually forms. But we're so conditioned to stress, to worry, because we use our logical mind to try to fix. How many people out there actually let the process unfold? How many people actually let it come down to the wire? That's what I mean. Not a lot of people don't let it come down to the wire because they think if they let it come down to the wire, it's going to explode. But actually, when you let it come down to the wire, that's when the wire discharges or stop. You ever see like a dynamite? It goes, psh, it's getting ready to the dynamite, and then it stops and just outs. That's what happened in the universe. But they don't teach you that. They teach you that you got to figure it out for yourself and all that. You can't figure it out for yourself when you use your regular mind. However, you can figure it out when you use your higher mind. All right. The next thing that makes you this God force that exists here is you have a partner with you, man. Anyone know who that partner is? This partner or this being doesn't live in this dimension with you. A matter of fact, this partner, or you will call it, space time has no control over this partner. This partner can go into all the different dimensions and come back to you. And let me show you something here. Get my thing out here. This partner has access to all the dimensions you could ever imagine. That's right, that partner is your higher self. So let me teach you something about dimensions. I wrote them down here. I'm always taking my notes and putting them in, but I want you to understand. I have so much notes here. Let me see where my dimensions are. So I just want you to get a grasp on all these things. So let's start with, we have 10 dimensions, but I just want to give you an idea, show you like how stuff works. Let me see what I got here. 3 dimension, I got 4, 5. Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's start with the 3 dimensions that you learned. So the first dimension we have, right? 3 dimensions, or what's 3 dimensions or what? They're basically length, width, height, right? That's where humans exist. That's where your physical form is in right now. You're in a 3 dimension, all right? Get that. I'm talking about the higher self now. I can help you to elevate. Then we go up to the 4th dimension. Now there is a little controversy about the 4th dimension, but for practical purposes, the 4th dimension, we consider it as time. So time can actually be kind of like a physical thing. Actually, there are some beings that, just how we see time as like this movement or something, to them, they see time as a physical thing. They can move to and fro in time. Now remember how time works though. The past, the present, and what you call the future, they're all in the same moment. So listen, this is important for you to understand before I even get anywhere. This is the first law you gotta know, people, is that best way to put it here. Okay, everything is already pre-made. Everything is done already. Your birth, your death it's gone already. So your whole life is already mapped out. Got it? So you can see your entire timeline. Okay? So that means there's some beings that can move and go into your timeline, just like how you go from here to up the block. They can go into your present. They can go into the next part where you call it perceived future, but it's just a coordinate. They can also look back and see the what you call memory of what you did before, because everything is stuck somewhere in that timeline. If that makes sense. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. I'll get to some of your questions in a second here, but let me get through this. All right, then we go into what we call now in the 5th dimension. Remember, these dimensions are important because they do exist. They're out there. In the 5th dimension, it's best way I'll put it here. I got it in my notes. Okay. So in the 5th dimension, we would see a world slightly different than our world. We would see like the other Big Bang or creations. In the 5th dimension, you could see your 3D self, and also you could see your simultaneous selves. You could see all your timeline. You could actually watch your birth and your whatever life going on, and you could actually see your death all in the 5th dimension. Okay. Now we go into the 6th dimension. Is the plane of all possible worlds. This is where we could see every possible condition of every multiverse that we exist in. I'm just going real fast. The seventh dimension, you can see same possible worlds, but you can see different conditions. You can see different laws of physics that apply. You'll see what the eighth dimension. Now you would see a plane of worlds with different conditions branching out infinite. So you would be able to almost see the entirety of all the infinite stuff. That's very deep. In the ninth dimension now is where you would see conditions very similar to us, but also in an infinite form. In the 10th dimension, this is the point where you arrive where everything that is imaginable or unimaginable becomes reality. These dimensions exist, they're out there. In physics, they call them compactifications. They're curled up, but they do exist. Guess what? You, my friend, have access to all of this stuff. Your not you in a 3D form, but your authentic or higher self has access to all this stuff. So what happens is this disinformation campaign is designed for you not to know this, for you not to tap into that stuff. It's designed for you to become what we call that bot, for you to just like blend in and be like, a normal person. You don't want to be a normal person. I mean, when I mean normal, it means you don't want to go through your life without your purpose and your dreams and stuff like that. You were here to experience stuff, right? Can I manifest many desires at the same time? You can manifest as many stuff as you want at the same time, as long as are you able to focus on them. When it comes to creating what you want, it's all about where your attention or where your focus lies. Where do you focus? Everything is buying for your attention. Your attention is currency, people. You already have, like, if you want to talk money, you have more money than you can imagine because it's your attention. When you look at, what is it? The internet, what else? The television, they're all striving for one thing. They want to get your attention. Why do they want your attention? Because your attention creates the worlds, people. The world is created by your attention. Yeah. You didn't know that. Well, now you do. So where are you focusing your mindset at? Now we go to quantum physics and we look at the light body of you and the physical body of you. See, in the physical body of you, you're predominantly controlled by what's called your ego. The light body of you is predominantly controlled by what you call your subconscious or your unconscious mind. And then from the subconscious, it runs a line right up to what's called your authentic self. Your authentic self sends the information from the light body to the physical body. The physical body translates that information as what you see around you. Your smell, taste, da 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 da. Now, once you understand this, then comes the most important part of this. The important part is not to be attached to outcomes. Never be attached to outcomes. Never be attached to how. You cannot control how you're going to get what you want. It's not for you to do. This is also a part of the disinformation campaign. They want you to focus on the how. Because when you focus on the how, it's going to distract you from tuning in to what? Your higher self for the answers. Most people are scared to find the answer. I repeat that. Most people are not scared, they're in fear to find the answer. Because why are they in fear to find the answer? Someone asked me, you're asking me how these things already happen. Well, if you understand, if you know physics or quantum physics, this is what it says about our universe. A universe doesn't have a beginning. It's just here. You never Hmm. I can't say you're never born, but I'll say it in this terms. In the 3D world, you think you were born, but that's just what we call a transition. But everything just is. I mean, this is beyond human comprehension. So our brains aren't equipped to understand this. That's why we have instruments and equations. But the point is, you cannot you cannot create stick stuff. Everything's already been created. So if everything's already been created, that means everything in your life you have already done it. If okay, if you can see something in your head, and if you can visualize or see something in your head, all right, like say if you feel a good feeling of something, that's not a what you call a chance or fleeting feeling. You're picking up. Here's what's happening, good people. You are picking up the signal of what you've already done. That's already happened. You ever get like excitement or feel good when you think about something? Or you get that image in your head? Some people call it like they get deja vu. What else they get? They get like the daydream feeling and all that stuff. You know what that is? That is the reverberation of you picking up yourself that you've already done. Yeah. You've already picked up what you've already achieved. So someone says, Christopher says, but you've already, but you've manifested the lottery. That is a specific outcome that you have to focus on. So that sounds contradictory. All right. So good point. But here's where it differs, and here's where I want you to understand. Remember, right? In quantum theory, we know that what multiple or infinite possibilities exist. So if infinite possibilities exist, that means specific outcomes are also in the equation. So you're in here. Okay, I gotta make you understand. Let me be specific. Your entire, listen to this. This is deep. Your entire infinite outcomes, infinite outcomes, are only perceived by your higher self. You can't see infinite outcomes. Your three-dimensional being can only see specific outcomes. So that means all infinite possibilities that your life can go exist. Where you're dead, where you're alive, where you're successful, where you're unsuccessful, they're all happening simultaneously. Hence, you can choose any direction you want, because when you're in a 3D world, you're only limited to so much. That's why you can choose specific outcomes. So therefore, it's no contradictory. Contradictory doesn't exist because of infinite universes or multiverse. Does that make sense? Now that is not me. That's what quantum physics says. That's what the equations say. And if we could get back to a deeper aspect of this. The electron particle that makes you and I, it is constantly in a state of infinite flux. That means it's going in and out of all these directions, all these different probabilistic outcomes it can. In other words, the electron is an infinite thing. It goes all over. It's here, there, everywhere. It pops here, pops there. Therefore, you and I have to obey the same laws. Herbert says, see yourself as a god, not as human. This all becomes clearer. Well, yeah, that's the thing. They don't want to see you. The campaign is not for you to see yourself as a god. That's why they created God, a god, to make you feel low or less. Because if every individual understood this concept or this truth, then the world would be totally different. It would erase a lot of people who want to control stuff and all that stuff. So it says Doctor Who, so strange, but we are what? We are slowly evolving into picking up the fourth dimension of time. So is it okay to visualize winning the jackpot, not worry about not detaching from it? Yeah, so the thing is, okay, remember now, everything I'm explaining to you guys are not in three-dimensional world. So we are trapped. We're trapped in the 3D world as humans, right? So if we're in the 3D world, we have to be what? Conscious of the limitation that we have as 3D. But in the mental capacity of your mind, you're never trapped, but you're experiencing 3D. So that means there's certain rules that we apply in the 3D world that doesn't apply elsewhere. Okay, let me tell you what, for example, one rule that applies when you're in 3D world is what? You have to be detached. You have to be detached from the outcome in the 3D world. Rule number 2, you cannot waste your time or your mind trying to figure out how you're going to get your stuff. Those two things in the 3D world. If you're not in the 3D world, which are your authentic self, they're instantaneous, they're manifest, they're already there instantaneously, they manifest right there. So whatever you want in the other dimensions, before they come into the 3 dimensions, they are there as probability of existence. So when you get attached to it, you delay that. You delay the transformation or the transferring of that data to become your physical world. You see, 3D world is more dense. That's why it looks real. See, it's like dense. It's a dense reality. When you get into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dimensions, then we get into multiverse dimensions. They are not dense reality. They are transparent reality. For the record, that's where you came from. That's your true form. You live in those realities or dimensions. You're just here as a brief stop to experience the dense reality. Your true being is those multiverse, those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 dimensions, wherever. That's where you are. You just chose to be in the 3-dimensional dense reality. And because you're in a dense reality, you have to obey the laws of physics that apply into the dense reality, which is resistance. You have to detach, stop thinking of how. What else you got to do when you're in a 3D reality? You got to learn to control your mind. Okay? You got to learn to what? What else you got to learn to do? You got to learn to perceive and put your attention on what you want, because your mind's already so powerful, man. That, did you hear what I just said to you? I just said to you that this, and they make this ghost. They make this. That's right. Kimberly says, "Be in the flow." Correct, Kimberly. You gotta be in the flow. That's the secret, though. You have to get into the flow. But let me show you. Let me show you something. How this goes over your head, and then they don't even. This flies right over your head right now, and it's designed like that. I just told you that your attention is your currency, right? So if you're someone and you sit back and you observe the world around you, and you're looking like, okay, why do I, like when I watch the TV or anything, all these commercials, why are these commercials always trying to get my attention? When they get your attention, what? Because they probably want you to buy something, to get something, right? But it's a lot deeper than that, people. Let me show you something deeper than that. Did you know that they need your attention to create 3D reality? You are creating the reality for them. Did you know that? You're helping them create the world that you don't want, but they want it. Do you know that? All right. If they put something out and they say, I'll give you an example. The economy is going into a recession. It's not in a recession, but they tell you it's going into a recession. It goes into everybody's collective subconscious. Guess what you do? You help manifest a recession. Because everybody's thinking, oh my God, did you hear the news? We're going into a recession. We're going into a recession. Your attention creates this very thing, because you help them do that. Another one, they'll say, the weather, look at this weather, it's going to be very terrible. There's going to be, I think there's a storm out there. I think it may be coming here. Oh my goodness, the storm is coming here. We got to go buy stuff. You create this event where the storm comes. Not only that, but they also teach you what to think. They teach you, they get your mind to operate a certain way, because again, people, you understand, everything is information, is data. So all your thoughts and energy is data stuff, it's data. So what they can do, they can watch your data, just like your phone does that. Your phone has an algorithm. Your phone knows exactly what you like to watch and listen to. And you know what they do? They put campaign ads to things like that. Anything you look at, your phone sends it to you. It's reading, and that's just the small part of it. It's more sophisticated. That's just the elementary thing. Okay, he's watching this. They're looking at that. Okay, and all of that is targeted to you. Boom, 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 boom. See that? So it's and the big thing about that is some people will get it, but most won't, because we're all plugged in and connected to the same thing. So I'm just showing you, I did that to show you that your attention is what creates worlds. So if you're when you're in the 3D world like this, you have to be careful of where your attention. So what is your attention? It basically means that what you have been thinking about. Someone says, yeah, TikTok's been reading my mind, all of that. Yeah, what they're doing is they're reading the data, because everything follows a pattern, and from that pattern they can make an educated guess on what you're doing. It's called the algorithm. The universe has its own algorithm. So I'm just here to tell you that the simple act of you changing your attention and putting it on something positive will literally make the physical dense 3D become positive in your world. If everyone put their attention on something positive, then it affects the bigger field of their world, which we all interact with. Someone says, say you ignore the 3D, but that can be difficult when things come up. All right. So it's not about ignoring the 3D, guys. It's about being aware of the 3D and knowing what the 3D matrix is and is not. So it's not that you have to ignore it. You can't ignore it because you're in it. You're going through it every day. But what you can do, you can become aware of it and then where to put your attention on it. So for example, if you're in the world right now and a lot of negative stuff happening to you, then you understand the laws of physics. You say, you know what? This is all happening because somewhere my attention is on this. I'm being fed something on this. So anyway, if I'm experiencing this stuff right now, that literally means I'm either unconsciously, consciously, unknowingly feeding energy into bringing this into my world. So you know that you are kind of, okay, man, I have to be partly responsible for this. You're not entirely responsible for it, but you are part responsible because it's for your attention. So if you understand that, you say, all right, damn. So all this stuff happening around me, man, I don't like this stuff. So what do? I'm asking you that question. If you don't like what the 3D is projecting, the hologram that you're living in, what do? Someone answer that. If you don't like the world or whatever's happening in your life, what do? I'll say this before you answer. I bet you, I can guarantee you that many of you probably busting your mind like right now. Okay, what do I do? With some complicated, deep answer, it's not even that complicated. Who here? Max says it easy. The simple answer is this. Yeah, change it. But here's what you do. You just imagine what you want to see. Remember, the world is imagination, people, right? It's just a dense form. But it's the same thing when it goes back to the core of it. And you change it. How do you change it? First thing you do is you take your attention away from what you don't want. Number two, then you start to reapply your attention to what you do want. You change the channel. You change the view of the situation. You start to imagine, and it's a simple turn on, like doing something like this. All right, so I'm experiencing what I don't. This is what you say to yourself out loud. You can say this. This will help you to switch the channel easily. So you know what? I don't like what I'm experiencing right now, just like that. So I would like to experience this. I would like to see this instead of that. And you can say whatever it is that you want to experience, or you can imagine it. And then you do that a lot of over and over and over. And I can guarantee you that you will shift into that new state. See that? How do you keep the channel there and not allow it to change again? Again, your attention. The secret to keep the channel to where you want to experience it is repetition, and to always think of what you want. Go write this down, because if you're watching this and you're trying to figure out how to do this stuff, the two things you got to do, guys, is repeat and think about what you want all the time, a lot of time, predominantly when you get free time, when you're downtime, replay it in your head. I can guarantee you it will become your world. It'll be like a miracle. It will seep in. It's like the weather. The clouds roll in so fast. Like here, like you're in Florida here. One day, 1 minute it's like really sunny, and the next minute it's like storm, and the next minute it turns back sunny, just like that. That's how your reality can come. It comes into world. So what you do is you observe, but you don't absorb. Correct. But here's what happens when you start to do that. Like when you start to like just think about what you want a lot, you're creating what you call a learned habituation, or you're creating what's called a habit. You're learning a habit. It's like you're teaching. It's like, when you're a computer programmer, you're teaching the computer to remember a code. You're teaching your subconscious to remember this code. So what you're doing is you're saying, all right, you're showing your mind, this is what I want to experience. This is what I want to experience. So you're programming your code as you go along. And that's how you stay on that channel. And here's the beauty of it. Your subconscious controls that. So sometimes your ego will cut the channel off a little bit, but your subconscious will always come back and open the channel up. So you'll never lose your channel or your reality for no long periods of time. You'll always snap back on. It's okay. I'll give an analogy. It's like if you have a home, right? And you have a generator. So you got regular electricity coming in, and then the power goes out. What kicks on? The generator. You always have power. And then they fix the power line up, right? And then you get back your regular electricity. What does your generator goes back offline and it waits again till something. That's what you do when you program your mind like that. Your subconscious is the generator. It kicks in when your ego distracts you, and then kicks back off when you get out of this loop. And then you start to realize, like, oh my goodness. Do you guys see how that makes sense, right? If you hurt people's feelings, will karma hurt you back? Yeah, so another law, one of the laws that's bind to the 3D world is this. It's called the law of cause and effect. What you do to others will come back to you in a form. It's called energy exchange. People call it karma or whatever. It only occurs in the 3D world. So people say, well, man, Mark, I have tied karmas to past life. No, you don't have tied karmas to any past life, because you're in the 3D world now. You can't have ties bring into the 3D world, because the thing is this: when you have infinite dimensions and infinite possibilities, everything is already resolved there, because there has to be an outcome. So for you people worrying like, oh my God, man, I'm in this relationship, oh, I got this karmic tie, I can't succeed, it's just a karma, it's just a curse, it's my family. All BS. That is all by you, your subconscious. You're believing that, so your subconscious mind is replaying that. You cannot bring things with you from those things, because all infinite realities exist. If all infinite realities exist, all outcomes are already settled. However, while you're in this world here, you're still what? Energy in motion. You're still a spiritual being. So you're still sending out energy. So when you send a thought out or something negative, it has to recircle through the collective subconscious, and it must come back to the source, which is you. So in other words, if you do good stuff comes back. If you do what you deem as bad stuff come back. Only appears in 3D matrix. Never appears in higher conscious dimensions. So that should sum it up about it, because I get so much emails about, I think I have a karmic this, I think I have a karmic tie. Oh my God, Mark, I can't do this. It's following me into the 3D. Nothing follows you into the 3D. Right? Someone says, why are families that killed and stole through colonization not had karma but still going strong? My question to you is, how do you know they don't have karma? Do you know what's going on in their internal life? Do you know what if they're sick? What if they have mental problems? What if they're being bombarded? You don't know that. Looks can be deceiving. So that's something you can't judge or answer yourself because you don't know. But what we do know for a fact is everyone will get what they put out. It comes back to them in some form or the other. You can see people out there that are they seem to be doing good. Their insides are eating up. They're just depressed. They're messed up. So you don't know that. Okay. Mark, how long will it take to manifest? Manifesting is an instantaneous process. Remember this, you don't manifest in the 3D, you experience your manifestation in the 3D. You manifest from outside the 3D. So everything you think about, it has is instantly created in the other dimensions. Then it gets funneled to the 3 dimension where you experience it. Nothing ever manifests in the 3D. Everything only gets experienced in the 3D. Manifest begins the minute you think of what you want. An intention decision you've created outside the matrix. So to answer your question, you manifest instantaneously, but you experience it with a delay. The delay comes in the form of your subconscious or your conscious mind. The delay comes from resistance, from blocks, from feeling unworthy, from not feeling like you deserve it. All those cause the delay of your manifestation. But everything you think of is already manifested instantaneously. It's in the field. See how should we feel to guide ourselves to winning millions in scratch card? That's a great question. And I have the answer for you. But it's not going to be in this live. It's going to be in the video I made on Tuesday where somebody asked me that question. So it's called Hidden Lottery Secrets Revealed. So you have all the answers in that one I made. So be sure to watch that on Tuesday, especially with scratch card. Mark, do you still have a great feeling after really winning tickets? To be honest with you, not as before. It's kind of become like normal. I still feel good and happy, but not as when you first win. I used to get so super excited, but now it just feels like a normal thing, which I think is a great thing because it shows that you're in the flow state. But it took me a lot of wins to do that. I don't want you to do that. See, what happened with me was I learned something. I didn't have to win a lot to get the feeling of feeling like it. All I had to do was just turn the feeling on first. So that's why I'm teaching you. You don't have to win a lot. You can just decide right now to feel like you won a lot, and then you'll win. See, I had to win a lot to feel that way, but you don't have to do that. That's what I learned moving on this journey, that you don't have to wait to do something. You can do something now by generating the feeling of what that something would feel like if it's done now. So if you're the lottery person, just feel like what it would feel like right now, and then you will actually get that experience. Mark, how can I feel like I won millions when I win small amount because the vibration is the same? All right, so here's the issue with that. I think I answered this before, but I get a lot of that. Okay, go back to your attention. It's with your subconscious. If you're winning in a small amount and you're focusing on a small amount, you're going to keep getting more small amounts. So when you think of just see winning as winning, and then the universe will figure everything out and you'll get the millions. Don't try to figure out it's $1 million or $10. A win is a win. Feel like every win feel like it's $1 million win, but don't focus and ask yourself like, man, why am I just getting small wins, man, all the time? Da, da, da. Because that's where you're gonna that's a trap right there. See, guys, what I'm teaching you, I'm showing you that your mind is so subtle that you can just hypnotize yourself into like It's happened to me before. When I first started doing this, I was getting a lot of small wins, free tickets, and I was the same guy. I was like, man, why do I keep getting these small tickets, man? Why I keep getting $2 free tickets? When is that fantasy five win gonna come so I can buy my car, man? And when am I gonna get this win, man? See that? And I kept getting more of the same thing. Yeah, correct. The OG says wanting more is wanting more. So when I figured the game out, I was like, okay, man, I gotta stop doing this. Mark, a win is a win. Why don't I just like pretend or act like a free ticket is the top fantasy five jackpot? Why don't I act like this $2 is the lottery claim office win? I started doing all that stuff, and then that's changed, and I started winning. So you got to do the same thing. Never focus on that. Focus on the win. Remember, you are creating this stuff, people. You know these infinite realities are there, and your subconscious mind, no matter how powerful it is, when it's in the 3D world, it's in illogical mode. It's in illogical mode. So you got to celebrate every win, man, like it's a claim win. That will fix the problem for you, or what you call the issue. Mark, do you think it's possible to get women to chase you using your methods or to see? Yes, you can get all that stuff. Now, look. Like I said, these teachings are very powerful. So when you use them, be ready for what you're gonna get. But yes, it works the same way. These teachings can be applied to every single part of your life, not just the lottery. You can get everything to chase you if you want it. All you have to do is make what you want you. And when you make what you want you, it comes to you. Human beings and people too. You can do that. I'll have to make a separate video on how to do that with people, but you can do it. Mark, you're aging in reverse. That's because I don't live in time. I've actually erased time from my mind, and it's real trippy, man. Because some days I get confused because I don't even know what day of the week it is. That's why I have to walk around with this. It reminds me when today's a Sunday. I will tell you this, when you can do that, you affect the telomeres in your DNA, because the telomeres control the passage of what we see as entropy or time. So you can slow time down like I slowed time down tremendously. And the first thing I did was I got out of linear time. This linear time doesn't exist. I have to have the only thing that lets me know when it's night or day to wake up is my circadian rhythm that I've used to. When I see the sun go down, I go to sleep. When the sun comes up, I wake up. No matter what happens, even if I go out late or do something late and I come in, I'm always up at the same time in the morning. It's an alarm that goes off in my head. But you can do the same thing too. You can reverse your aging, despite what they tell you. See, they don't tell you that. All you have to do is get out of time. You don't have to participate in time. Do you know that, right? Time is what? A concept. We're always in a quantum field. We are the field. Time and space is connected to the same field. So one affects the other. So if you're someone you're getting up every day, I mean, not everybody can do this because you can do it, but you just got to be a little organized. You got to have something to organize you. But you can break your days up into like hours and then move so forth. But any one of you can erase time, linear time, from your life, and it will slow your aging down. It will slow your telomeres down. While the people around you, they'll be aging at their rate, you'll actually be going backwards, or you'll stay stuck at the same, what they call chronological age. You know what I mean? They make that up too, because okay, let me teach you something about this stuff. Okay, so time is equal to mass. Mass is what gives you the time. So we have mass. So that means we are moving through space, so we're affecting what they call the field of time. Yes, feathers have meaning. Feathers are a good indication of good omen, good luck, spirituality, the guides around you. So that means if you and someone else standing next together, you have different time clocks, what we call it, 3D clocks. So what you can do, if you, the more you focus on time, the faster your clock ticks. The less you focus on time, the slower your clock ticks. Hmm. So what is the world? It's a time world. Everything is time. 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. No, don't get me wrong. It serves when you're working and do stuff, but even if you're a regular person working, you can still get out of the 3D time. It's just, you just do it two different ways. You go to work, then when you get off work, you jump in, out, you get out of time. You don't stay in time 24/7. Can we slow time down if we had deadlines? Yeah, you can slow your deadline down so that you can meet whatever it is. You're not going to stop the deadline, but you can slow the deadline down in enough where you can get the answers to fix your deadline. All right, let me give you a fun fact. I'm going to show you something how time works, how we all see time differently, and how you can erase time. I'll give you a fun fact. So remember, time is what? Light. Photons, correct? You and I are made 60% light. That means we're 60% photons. We have photons emitting biophotons, okay? Check this out. A photon is never experiences time. Photons can't experience time. We know that in physics. We know that. So if the light from this universe is traveling over here and you're seeing the universe 10,000 years ago, to that photon, it's instantaneous. It never sees time, never passes for the photon. So you're 60% light. So theoretically, time doesn't exist for you as well. However, your perception is what's causing the aging process. It's the cells in your body based on your perception. They listen to you. So here's the fun fact. 60% or light, so photons can't experience time. We're photons, so why are we experiencing time? Your perception. Let's move to the other thing. Let's take a fly. Light. Do you know why it's hard for you to hit a fly? You ever try to swat a fly? The fly always has one head above. You swear you see the fly right there. Boom! You about to hit the fly. He's going like, how the hell the fly got me? The only way I can hit a fly is with a fly swatter because he can't see the fine lines in the swatter. So if I want to see if anyone can get this. I don't. It's a long shot, but if you get it, you're great. Why can't you hit a fly? Why is the fly always ahead of you? It's like the fly is in the future and you're in the past. Like the fly already know your next move. Before you hit the fly, he's gone. I'll show it, throw it out there. Can anyone answer that? Why does the fly seem to defy me? All right, here's a fun fact. Yeah, you're right. The fly sees you in slow motion. Time slows down for the fly. When the fly looks at you, you're moving like this. Look. See that? The fly's perception of time, it slows down. They slow time down. That's a scientific fact. So when we're going like this, to us, it looks like in real time. When the fly looks at us, everything is in slow motion. So the fly is already seeing a delay in your timeline. So the fly's just chilling there, and you're going like, so to you, you're like, but to the fly, you're like, okay, here he comes. The fly's seen it like 5 seconds before, so it knows your move before you come, and then boom, the fly escapes. In frames. Literally, fly see, you're in slow, you're like this, 1 frame, 2 frame. To the fly, boom, boom, boom. But yet, you and the fly are what? In the same space time. But that's what I'm showing you. Time is personal for each being. For the fly, it slows down time. For you, time for you speeds up. There was a kid movie made about this. Okay, see, good. That's something you need to know. It's considered another dimension. So when a fly is there, even though you're in the same space time, it's in another dimension because the fly's photoreceptors sees your light particles in the past, so to speak. So it already knows what you're going to do because you're slow motion, but in you it's in real time. But to the fly, that's why so look at the fly like a psychic. The fly already know what you move before you know it because it sees you before you even decide to do it. I don't know what's the name of the kids movie, but maybe someone can say it. Someone says they want to. Who is it? Oh, Kimberly says I need to watch this kids movie. The movie Epic does that. Okay, see. So that's a fact. And so you can do the same thing with your body. You can slow your clock, or you could even reverse it, or keep it stuck where it's at. So everyone around you is, you're in slow motion too. You can delay like the fly can. The only difference with the fly is the fly was genetically made like that. You, however, you have something more than the fly. You have the ability to imagine and think, which controls your cells as well. And your cells can like delay your telomeres from aging or slow down. You can either speed up the time or you can slow the time down. See how powerful you are? This stuff, they don't teach you this stuff, right? You've been conditioned to be in the rat race, to be with the like Monday through Friday stuff. See, so for me, I got out of that stuff a long time ago. I just exist in the moment. I just see things. I kind of look at, someone asked me, Marco, how do you get out of time? Well, I look at things as frames now. I look at things like screenshot, 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 screenshot. So I don't look at things like continuous momentum or moving. I kind of see people just like the fly see people. I see things like this. Doom, 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 doom. That's why I'm always one step ahead, because I condition my mind and my perception to see that. So I can always, that's why I can always see something before it happens. I can always feel something before it comes into pass. And matter of fact, that's what your intuition is. Anytime you get intuition, you just froze time because you're picking up information that's already happened. So now it goes back to see what I was telling everybody. I said everything has already happened already. See that? Now you see how it works. Because how could you see something and know it? Because it already played out. It's just your perception of time. You caught the freeze, but you can do it. And I can give everyone a tip. If you want to slow your clock down or aging down, here's the first thing you should do. You should break up your days in hours. Never look at your whole day ahead of your whole day. Even though you know what to do, you have to pretend like you only got 3 hours to live, and then it starts a new cycle. So that means it's gonna force your mind to compartmentalize and to focus more in the now, which is gonna shrink time, and then you're going to be more present. And the more present you are, you're going to be less affected by the linear time, and that's going to be even more powerful for you to manifest, because the secret to really manifesting instantaneously is to just get out of time. And the beauty of it is you're always here in the moment. See how the matrix tricks you to make you believe you're out of the moment. So you're always here in the moment. I said this to myself. I said, man, I wondered, like, thousands of years ago, right? How did the humans exist? I bet you back then they were just so much more advanced, so much more connected with their self, so much more powerful. Because back then, before the history of almanacs or clocks or calendars, how do you think people existed? You know how they existed? Intellectually. What I mean intellectually, I mean they use intuition. They followed the clock in the head, which is the third eye, their pineal gland. That's what they followed, because back then there wasn't anything to calcify it. So they were already stuck in the present moment. They didn't have a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They didn't have their age was 21, 31, 56, whatever. None of that existed. They were just feeling the flow. It's the invention of the matrix that gave you your age, gave you your name, and gave you time, and make you age a lot faster. And then what they do is they make you age a lot faster, and then they sell you some stuff to slow your aging down. So they're making money from you in both ways. They're accelerating the aging process, then they're marketing medicine for you to slow down your aging. So they're milking you like a cow. but all along you can just fix it yourself. So that's I'm just giving you some light on that stuff, just so that you can kind of understand that stuff, that you don't have to be a prisoner of time, and you don't never become what they put on you as a label. I want you guys to do this. Escape your name, escape your age, escape whatever they put on you, escape your personality. You will slow your aging process down. Your telomeres will stop aging. You'll reverse your aging a little bit. You can't go all the way back to being like a kid, but you'll definitely reverse your aging up to 10 to 15, even 20 years if you do this. If you disassociate yourself from your name. Now, what I mean is, I don't mean like forget. It means you're not focused on it. It doesn't define you. When someone says, Mark, hey, what's up? I recognize that as the title they call me, but I don't identify myself as Mark. That's not who I am. That's a title I'm given to just represent what here right now. So I see myself as everything all around at one time. I don't see myself as this Mark guy. To you guys, you say Mark, but that to me is just for me to recognize. But if you go like, if you live like that or practice like that, then you will see magnificent stuff happen in your life. Your intuition increases, your awareness increases, downloads come more frequently, you enjoy yourself better, your worry goes down, your body actually stops aging, you start living more because you aren't affected by the density of 3D. And then your manifestation come a lot faster. Why does your manifestation come a lot faster? Because guess what? There's no time, so everything is fast. See? Let's focus on time. It's actually facts, guys. See? That's how the Matrix do you. But the people that lived 1,000 years ago, keep in mind, guys, people, the original, where you came from, they never had clocks. They probably just had the cycles of the sun and moon. They never had ages or anything like that. They were all made up. Names and all that stuff, man. Never had that stuff. Never, they were known as different titles of things. It's when we got into the invention of the Industrial Revolution and the age of all that stuff. They started branded you. They gave you a birth certificate. They gave you a social security number, your identification number, like a VIN number on a car. You're a property. You got a name. See what I'm showing you? So you're a product of production. Your goods and services. What are goods and services? That's not what you are, though. See? You're being marketed as that. Inventory. This is what you're marketed as. Your birth certificate is actually a stock certificate. Now, yeah, don't let me go into that. That's something deep that people don't understand. I can do a whole video on that. On your name, your birth certificate, traded in the stocks. Federal Reserve has property of your identification. You can be traded on the stock market. You are a product. You are a commodity. Yeah, like you're controlled like a cattle. All this stuff, they're not going to let you know. Remember what I told you before? I said you don't own anything. They trick you to make you think you own stuff, right? Remember I told you that a long time ago? It's an illusion. Someone says I buy a house, you don't own the house. You could pay your house cash. Guess what? You still got to pay the property taxes. You can't pay if you can't pay the property taxes, they take your house. So you got to get away from the concept of I own, I am this is me, blah blah blah, da 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 da. You got to get away from all of that, man. This is the epitome of the flow state. I mean, understand that it's a title and you use it when you're in the matrix. I can say, okay, Mark, I got to do, if you got to get your car registration, okay, I got to, I got to get in my fake stuff that the Matrix gave me. This is my name. Here's my birth certificate. Here's my social. Give me the card. Get into that. But when you get out of that, get back into your real stuff to know that it's fake. Your body will love you for that. You become more healthier. You'll become less aging. You'll age less because the cells in your body now are stuck in the moment. They're stuck in the present. If they're in the present, they can't go to the future. Speed. They can't go to the past. Memory. They're here now. It slows down. Everybody else around you is speeding up. You're slowing down. Remember this, people. The only way your body knows what's going on, listen to this. The only way your body knows what's going on is what you tell it through visual thinking, feeling, and talking. Based on those perceptions, the body generates a match vibrationally based on that. So, if you're in the Matrix, you're 24 years old, but you feel like you're 35, and you watch the TV program and the guy says, yeah, I'm 24, I feel like I'm 35. Are you 24? Do you feel like you're 35? That keeps bombarding your head. Hey, are you, every day, do you get that tired feeling at 12 o'clock and you start to fall asleep? Take this energy drink. They are training you, and your body says, oh, we're 24, we feel like we're 35. One day you get up, you get aches and pains, and you're young, you're like, what's going on? You're unconsciously being trained. Hey, you want to look younger? Do this. Have you ate to the... Because the cells, and here's a big thing, your cells don't care. They see everyone as you. They're not prejudiced. So if anyone comes in the head and says that, your cells are going to pick that up, and it's going to reflect in your body and how you feel. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. I told you there is a sophisticated disinformation campaign going on to keep you as a commodity, man. What does it mean when you second guess yourself about buying a scratch card? If you second guess yourself about buying a scratch card, don't buy the scratch card, because now you've lost the connection with your intuition, and now you're in your ego. There's a video coming out on Tuesday to show you how to fix that. I'm in my late 50s and I feel 25. Of course, because the cells in your body listen to what you say. There is no such thing as the 50s, 60s. It's just how you feel now. These are just calculations. These are estimates that they use to track you, to keep stuff like medical records, census things, experimental studies. A group of 50 years old, a group of 40-year-old, for the laws and regulations, for mental clarity, for intelligence, all that stuff is just designed for the Matrix to keep the track. It's not about you, people. Your name, your age is all designed for tracking purposes, for keeping records, for identifying the commodity, the product which you are. That's all it is about. So if you ever associate yourself with these things, you're limiting your godlike power. You're limiting yourself. You're stuck. Look out for the documents where, where all your names is in all caps. Good. That's why you should. That's what Deb says. Deb Soap says. That's why I make sure I listen to things I want to experience. Good for you. Good for you. Correct. Most of the Indian ancients, do they still alive? They're alive more than 200 years. That's correct. Someone says, based on these teachings, if we believe things like trust no one or all women lie, are these things true or are we creating these situations? Yes, so let's go back to the multiverse and quantum physics, right? It shows how things work. So remember what I said earlier. I said your cells are based on your beliefs. So if you believe like, okay, let's say if you believe to trust no one, then your subconscious mind, because when it's in the 3D world, it's illogical, it's going to bring situations around you to validate that. Remember, your subconscious is always out to prove you right. So if you're like, man, I don't trust no one, you're going to get that to not trust anyone. If you get around, it's like, man, you know what? All these females, man, or all these guys, they play games. I don't like that. I can't trust man. I can't trust woman. That's what's going to come into your reality. You're going to tap into one of those infinite universes that will replay in this universe to show your mind to be true. So to answer your questions, yes, if you believe it, your mind is going to accept it and it will actually physically show in your world. That's the power you have. So this is why, okay, you want to fix this stuff? You want to fix this stuff? Tell me how to fix it. It's one law, very simple. Remember, I said this in this video. I'll go back. There's one simple rule. How do I fix this stuff? Remember I told you your attention? Here's how you fix it. Here, look. This is what you don't want. This is what you do want. Don't want, do want. What I do? What I don't want goes out of my frame. What I do want stays in my frame. That means I'm only every day, all the time, I'm focusing on what I want. What I don't want now doesn't exist. It's not in the multiverse, in this reality at least. Then my teaching my subconscious mind now. So my subconscious mind is going to get it one day and say, so look, what I don't want is still going to come in because it's a product of my ego. But look, here it is right here. But look what's pushing it away. Boom. Then before I know it, it's going to look. I'm vibrating between what I want. Boom. What I want. Sometimes what I don't want, kick it out. What I want. So I'm like 70% what I want, 30% what I don't want. Would you like that? Would you like the 70-30? That's a great deal. So that means I'm 70%. Then I can bump it up to 80%, then 90%. Then my ego's it's never going to go away. What I don't want is still going to pop in, but boom, boom. See that? Boom, boom. Then before you know it, I'm just like this. That's called flow state. Takes practice, takes repetition. See? I'm always like this. You can get like that. It's not saying that your whole life every day is not going to be like negative stuff, but when the negative stuff come in, quickly kicks it out. You know, like YouTube now has this nice algorithm they have. So like when people make like spam comments, before it even gets on my page or your page, YouTube just kicks it out. See, before they used to put these nasty comments, these trolls. Now YouTube has an algorithm where as soon as a troll comment comes in, boom. They're always going to be trolls, right? They're always going to be negative, but guess what? Boom. You're like this. Nowadays, most people are like this. This is what they don't want. This is what they want. Look where what they want is at, and look, they're in don't want land. Boom. The matrix keep them going that way by giving them the energy through the media, through the TV. See, they're like this, and then some of them, at the minute they think of what they want, get out of here. That's too good to be true. See that? Only the chosen ones, like you guys, will know the secret and say, oh, look, what I want's over there. Let me bring this over here and kick this out. Let me stay on this side. That's quantum physics in a nutshell. That's manifestation in a nutshell. That's how to fix everything in a nutshell. If you practice more of focusing and thinking about what you want every day, not key. I never said how. So people, don't do how here. We're not doing the how. We're just doing the thing, what I want. If you do that, you will train your mind to create a reality that will bring 70 to 80% of that stuff to your experience. You never have to find out how. You never have to look to get the connections or the decision. It'll automatically come to you. That's how easy the universe works. That's what they don't want you to know, how easy this stuff works. They want you to think you live in a complicated world where you have to fight to get it. You do not have to. In quantum physics, it's a very plain language. It shows you right there. It's like, okay, that's it. Question here. Marina says, hey Mark, I noticed you love the yellow color. Your watch is yellow and your car is yellow. Do you like this color because it represents good luck? Or maybe gold? Just curious because I love yellow or gold too. Yeah, so I have a theory on the colors. So I believe the reason why we're attached to colors and we like colors is because in our past life, we were associated with those colors. So if gold, maybe you had a lot of gold, maybe you were like a king or something, or maybe you were like some kind of high presence. So colors, when you love colors, it's something that's connected to one of your previous lives, and that's why you love them in this life. So yeah, yellow, because think about it, with colors, when someone asks you why do you love the color, you can't explain. Oh, I love the color because you just say, I just love that color. It just stands out to me. So yes, colors are affected from our previous lives. So if you have a favorite color, it means that that color was a predominant thing in your past life, which trickled down into your present life. Got it? With that said, guys, I will see you again next time. And